Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm sitting here tonight doing a little bit of Daggery's cardigan. That's the pocket that's hanging down there that gets attached when I get further up on it. I've been to my granddaughter's today, so all of you, my subscribers who know that I usually go to bingo on a Wednesday, we've changed it to a Thursday because we found a place that's paying good money and probably haven't got much hope of winning, but that's the luck of the draw, isn't it? So we're going there tomorrow night because it's one of the girls' birthdays as well, and we're taking a few little things, bits and pieces, food and that with us, and wishing a happy birthday. But I've been to my granddaughter's today instead of Thursday, with me going to the bingo tomorrow night. And I don't usually when I go to Cheryl's on a Thursday, I don't usually see her because she's usually working. And Craig doesn't work on a Thursday, so he's there to look after the kids while she's working. Whereas it's opposite way around, on a Wednesday he's working and she's not, so it's a better day really, because I see my granddaughter on the Thursday. I see her on a Sunday as well, but it's nice to see her when I go down there. But I took a little bit knitting. I was doing some of this. Yeah. This little baby's little 18-inch cardigan, I took that down with me. Well, it's got a little bit cable down the front, as you can see. That little bit cable down there, the front of it, that's what I'm doing. It's just that little bit down there. And didn't I go and forget to take my cable needle with me? And I thought to myself, oh, well, I can't do it, I need the cable needle. And I never asked Cheryl, but I very much doubted whether she'd have one because she never knits. So I'm sitting there thinking, so I'm going to show you what I did. A little bit video here on my phone just to show you what I did to cross those cables over. You know, when you're knitting cables and you go to your granddaughter's and she hasn't got a cable needle and you forgot your cable needle. Well, they say necessity is the mother of inventions. And you can say that for me. This is what I did to cross over the cables. All I had was these two knitting needles, so first stitch was knit. Then I had to put the next two stitches on a cable needle. And I didn't have a cable needle, but I did have my comb. So I slipped those next two stitches onto my comb. A little bit awkward because it's not the same as a cable needle. And I knit the next two stitches. Put those two stitches off my comb back onto the knitting needle with a little bit difficulty. One on, that one on. Put the comb down. Knit that stitch. And that stitch. And knit across the row. And that's what I did, and as I only had one cable to cross over every 4 rows at the start, that's what I've done. So all together now, who's a clever girl? Sheila is. Never say die, that's me. I don't give up on anything. I need to cross that row. Put those 2 stitches together to armhole. Knit that one. And you know that old saying, where necessity is the mother of invention? In my case, it was true. That comb came in very handy. I'm glad I had that with me as well, because all I had was those 2 knitting needles. Even if I had another knitting needle, I could have done it, but Cheryl probably would have had some knitting needles, but she would probably have to sort them out. She more than likely had them in the loft because she never uses them. And that wasn't the only little bit of invention I done today, using my ingenuity. Little Eddie had his little Thomas the Tank Engine cars, and I kept getting them shoved in my face and wanting batteries put in them and wanting to play with his track and wanting to know where Tommy was. I said, Tommy's at school, man, he'll be in soon. I think he's really missing his little brother. They fight like cat and dog when they're together, like, but he misses him when he's not there. So I had the batteries, and Cheryl went to pick, Craig came in early from work, and then Cheryl went to pick the other 2 up from school, so I was left with Eddie and the batteries, and so I'm changing some of the batteries in these little trains and that, but he insisted on, he wanted this one working. I forget what you call it, I know it's Percy or something, it's a red one. So I put the batteries in and it didn't work, did it? I said, there must be something wrong with the motor, it mustn't be, must be something wrong with the motor, like, well, he wouldn't have it. So he saying he was going to try it, and I'm seeing you can it, man. Like, I said, give us it here. So I took it to bits, took the batteries out and had a look, and I think I could see what was wrong with it. The contacts were rusty. He'd probably had it outside, left it out in the rain or something like that. And so anyway, I had a bit rub on the contact things, tried to clear some of the rust off, and I got some of the rust off. Put the battery in, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't, and I was turning the batteries and getting it to work, but every time I put the top on it stopped working, so he wasn't happy about that. And I think his brothers and his mum come in by this time, and I'll have one last try. So then I'm looking at the contacts on both sides, because there's 2 little AAA batteries going to it, and one end is just a little bit of metal where it touches, and the other end's like a little spring where you push one end of the battery up against it. And the part that was rusty looked a little bit shorter than the other one on the other side. So I realised it must have been the rust, a little bit of it must have snapped off, and it wasn't contacting properly. Sometimes if you were pushing it, holding it, it was running down on it was running, but it tipped it the other way. It must have been coming away from the contact. So I put something behind it and I was pushing it, sort of push it further out and out, and I managed to get it to stay out. When I put it in, it worked. So both of them were happy, Tommy and Eddie. I think Tommy went running into his mum to tell him his nana had fixed Percy. Don't know how long it'll last though. Well, then I think they took them outside and they were playing with them outside in the garden, took all the track out there and everywhere. So I hope Cheryl brings it in, or it's going to end up, or the whole lot's going to end up rusty. So anyway, I came home and I thought I'm going to sit down and do a bit of Daggery's cardigan. And I had a little mess about with my printer again. I just cannot get it to work properly. Doesn't matter what I do to it, there's lines, the horizontal lines at the moment. if I mess about with the alignment, the vertical alignment, and try different settings on that, it ends up with lines vertical instead of horizontal. It's really annoying me. So I've set it on a what's called a power clean, but I have used, it's a good job it's a tank one, and that the bottles of ink aren't all that bad. I think it only cost me about £48 for 4 little bottles of ink, and those ink normally would have lasted me about 2 years filling them up, the amount that I use. But I've used so much ink doing alignments and then nozzle cleaning and this, that and the other, and the amount of paper. I was looking through all my old papers and letters that I have, that's no good. One that's got print, you know, A4 sheets of paper that's printed on one side and clear on the other. So I was using all those in the printer to print out all these things that had to come out of the printer, and at least I've managed to get those, at least the horizontal lines that's going across aren't as thick and as bad as they were before. You've got to look close to see them, but you can't see them, so I'm not happy, still not happy with that. So I'm going to see what the power cleaning does, whether it says the power cleaning uses a lot of ink as well. I've been using a lot of ink anyway, trying to get the flaming thing fixed. But that's the way things are. Maybe it's a bill to go up the creek after 2 years, so you buy another one. I won't be buying another one, I'll just keep on mucking about with that one. I can print. It's just for my photographs, because I used to do all my photographs on it. Not bothered about the print. You know, I print out my bills and things and bank statements and all that. You just get little marks across the writing and that sometimes. That'll do me. I would have to buy another one if I wanted to do photographs. But I'm not bothered that much about photographs. I've got them all. I've got that many anyway. I don't know what to do with half of them. I haven't got room for most of them in the books I've got. So that's just a little bit for today. And I'm having a cup of tea here, and I'm going to sit down and watch the television in peace. At least I get little Eddie. When I'm leaving, sometimes I used to have to force a kiss out of him, lift his head up. Now he comes up to me like this. His brother does that, Tommy does that, so I think he's been watching him. That's kids for you, isn't it? But I think maybe he's, you know, making sure he's giving us a kiss before he goes, so make sure I bring him some sweets next time I come. Because that's what they go in my bag. I always carry them in the sweets in my knitting bag. He knows exactly where they are because I have a pocket on the front of the bag. You know, here. Little pocket in there, and I always put the sweets in there. And when he comes in, he looks in there and he thinks there's no sweets because he can't see them, but he started noticing where I put them now, so... Anyway, that's my bit. I'm going to finish my cup of tea and I'm going to watch the television. So, I'll catch you all another time, so bye for now.